My son was born in 2001, emergency section, and they instantly told us that he was unlikely to live. Spend time with him, and by the way, he is going to be disabled. Quite a good way to find out, in a strange way, because we thought we would lose him, and it focused our minds on how much we loved him. He did survive, came off the ventilator, and we found out further information about his disability, which happened over a period of years. But basically, he has a genetic condition, Down syndrome, and he has cerebral palsy. He suffered something called intrauterine hypoxia, leading to growth retardation and brain damage. Basically, his brain was damaged globally. The simplest way to put it is he can't walk, talk, eat, and he'll never learn to use the loo independently. And he's autistic. Got that one. Dan was in hospital for a long time when he was first born. He also had a major heart condition which required open heart surgery when he was 6 months old, only weighing in at 6 pounds. His heart was the size of a walnut, and they managed to sew up all these little holes in his heart. Amazing. My life changed overnight, which it does when you become a mother, but it was obvious I would not be able to go back to work. For the first few years of Dan's life, he was very poorly, and he required one-to-one support for a long time. And to be honest, mentally I could not have left him for a long time. I used to have a good job. I used to be a town planner. I used to run my own team, and it was well paid. It was all about knocking people's heads together, which was, architects and engineers. And I could no longer do that job. Becoming a carer involved really no sleep. For the first 5 years, Dan didn't sleep. He was on 4 hourly feeds for most of that time, or an hourly feed overnight, which meant he couldn't really sleep particularly well. You're always listening out for the alarm to make sure he didn't choke. You become very isolated. You suffer lots of feelings of grief, feelings of guilt. You lose your self-confidence. Has horrendous effects on marriages, and effect on siblings. Dealing with the NHS and social care is absolutely baffling. Can't explain it to you now. And a lot of the work is boring, repetitive, unpleasant, hard work with no obvious results. And don't get me wrong, I love my son. In December I did 82 loads of washing, and so far I've changed over 17,000 nappies, which, how many will I ever change, I don't know. Whenever you go out and about, you're always in front of the public, and the public's attitude really is very weird, and you can never really predict how people will respond to you. It's like being a Z-list celebrity. People ignore you, and then they feel able to make the most appalling comments, which are out of social context, really. Especially the one in Sainsbury's where the checkout lady asked me how long Dan would live. Not good when you're doing your shopping. And also a huge effect on wider areas of the family. The grandparents are often overlooked. Sadly, Dan's now 13, and sadly we've lost 13 of his little friends have died. A lot of the conditions are life-limiting, and the effect it has on us as a family unit is profound, because I know the children, I know the children's parents, and they continue to be my friends, and we live in a different world where child mortality is common, which is not the normal. It's not the norm. It's not what everybody in society experiences. But when you go to the doctor and you say, I'm feeling a little blue, one of my child's friends has just died, they prescribe you antidepressants. They don't say, look, that's totally normal, and if you didn't feel a little depressed, we would think that was odd. They rarely offer you counselling. You have to argue for it. But what Kids does is Kids, as a charity, offers the power of friendship, which is incredible. Simple things like coffee mornings, support groups, places where we can meet up and just chat. It really lifts the burden and really, really helps. So Kids, I didn't hear about Kids until I moved house to Wakefield about 4 years ago. And I got the knock on the door, and this lady came in with a packet of biscuits and drank tea with me. Turned out she was a parent of a child with a disability herself. And she said to me, what I really needed, I thought I needed respite. I thought I needed a break from caring. But what she said I really needed was to go back to work. Strange. But I said to her, how can I afford to do that? My childcare is £10 an hour. I'd have to earn a heck of a lot of money to cover school holidays. After school care would cost me £150 a week. It just doesn't add up. So she said, no, that's what Kids can do. Kids can provide you with a level playing field. You can go back to work. If you want to go back to work, we will support you to go back to work. So I went back to work. Who am I to argue? Amazing thing happened. I got my own money. I got to progress and develop as an individual. I got my self-esteem back. I got to participate locally. I became healthier and more fulfilled, and I get a short break from caring. How brilliant. So, Daniel can't walk, talk or eat, but unlike most people, he can put both big toes up his nostrils at the same time, and he treats everyone as if they're his friend. And I just want to end on this. Took Daniel swimming at Christmas, and he's very cute, looks very sweet, and he can float around in the pool. He's got more movement in the pool than anywhere else. These two little girls came up to play with him, and they said to me, well, why is he not talking to us? And I said, well, he can't. And there was this pause whilst they worked this out. They were about 7 or 8, these girls, 7 or 8 years old. They paused, they thought about it, and they looked at me and they said, but how is he going to tell Father Christmas what he wants for Christmas? Because this was run up to Christmas. Amazing how they cut through to what was the most important thing to themselves. And then we ended up having a theological debate for about half an hour about how Father Christmas knows whether you've been naughty or nice. But the point I'm trying to make is that if Daniel could speak for himself, and if Daniel was here tonight instead of me, I hope that he would say, thank you for giving me a happy, healthy mummy. Thank you for supporting Kids over the years, because I know loads of you are back again for another year. Thank you for putting my mummy back on her feet. Thank you.